We often hear about social media heavy hitters like Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, but what about Snapchat? I'm Sammy, I'm here with Digivangelism. That's what we're here to discuss today. If you like digital ministry for progressive leaders of spiritual communities, this is the place to be. Subscribe below. But with no further ado, let's get started. Should churches, nonprofits, ministries prioritize this platform, Snapchat, amongst all the other communication strategies that they've got going on? A good place to start is always with the statistics. We want to make sure people are actually using the platform before we invest our time and our energy and maybe our money into the platform itself. Once we know whether people in general are using it, we can isolate whether our people are using it. That's right, our target market, our community, just because it's popular doesn't mean our people are actually spending time on the platform. And you only want to be focused on platforms where your people are spending their time. According to overload.com, Snapchat had over 265 daily active users worldwide in the fourth quarter of 2020. Believe it or not, that's actually a 22% increase from the year before, making Snapchat a growing platform. This might be odd for you to consider because whether you know it or not, Snapchat has been around for a little while. In fact, according to this graphic from businessofapps.com, it even dried out for a while, leveling out and decreasing slightly in usage in 2018. As you can see from this chart, Snapchat is bouncing back in use though in recent years. Data Reportal tells us that this is particularly among 13 to 24-year-olds. 59% of all internet users in this range are using the app. So if reaching young people online is something that you are trying to do better at, this might be an app worth paying attention to. Before we get too far, let's talk about the difference between whether you should use an app or whether you can use an app. This especially comes into play when it comes to Snapchat. Part of why Snapchat is such a hot button social media platform is part of its appeal to users as well. And that's the fact that most of your content disappears. There's no profile like in Instagram or Facebook where you post content and it hangs around forever and ever. Your posts, your stories actually disappear within 24 hours. And many of the messages people send directly disappear shortly as well, sometimes as quickly as a few seconds. As you can imagine, this focus on the temporary can raise some red flags when it comes to adults who want to work with children on social media apps like this. We start asking questions. Is it safe to connect with youth on a platform where the content disappears? Does this lack of accountability increase the likelihood of risky or illicit behaviors? How can we protect our youth from predators and peers and even themselves on apps like these? And of course, the question we're asking today, is this any place for a church or a ministry or faith-based organization or nonprofit? Good questions. Some would very quickly say that the risk outweighs the potential benefit of Snapchat and that you should just throw it out completely. Now, we would argue if your people are spending a lot of time on Snapchat, it is worth not throwing it away right away. The truth is, any social media app can be used inappropriately. Any type of online sharing can be dangerous for youth or others. But this could be an opportunity for you to interact with your people where they are. This can be an opportunity to redeem this potentially dangerous app for hope, healing, and light, and sharing these things in a digital way. That being said, it's worth recognizing a very important factor that there are likely better places to start online. Just because we at Digivangelism don't believe that you should just write off Snapchat completely right off the bat doesn't mean it's at the top of our social media recommendation list. It's not. If you would ask me today, where should I get started on social media? 9 times out of 10, my answer is not going to be Snapchat, okay? If all of your people are on Snapchat, or most of them, and that's like the only place that they're spending time, then it makes sense that you're getting on Snapchat right away. But otherwise, there are better places to start for you. For example, set up your community Facebook page if you haven't done that yet. Learn how to work with Instagram Reels. Figure out how that could work for your ministry or nonprofit, your community. Try your hand at TikTok. Create a Facebook group, start up a link tree. The list goes on and on, but Snapchat is very low, or at least not near the top. All right, now that we've cleared up some of these coulds and shoulds, let's dive into Snapchat and how you could use it for ministry should you decide that's where you want to go. You need to know that one of the primary ways people use Snapchat to connect and communicate is through one-on-one communication. Whether they're text-based chats, just like a text message, or a text-based photo or video, like there's a background but it's not the main content, they're just kind of taking a picture or video of something so that text can be on top of it, and they can send a message. Or whether the content is the photo and the video that they want to send to someone, a lot of it's one-on-one communication, kind of like a text message, but in a more engaging and creative format that people might be a little bit more comfortable. It's not as direct as texting. It's like a way to go around texting while still texting. This means that this is one of the ways you can interact with people on Snapchat, is just contacting them directly. It may be more comfortable for your youth or your young people because they're used to using it as a form of texting already. This could also be an easy way to individually tell community members something. Show them something exciting that is happening at church that day. Record a reminder that they are loved, or let them know that you've been thinking of them or praying for them. We all know how individual messages can just brighten up our days. Take advantage of that here with Snapchat. In fact, you could send these individual messages to multiple people. Yes, I just said that. But it will still be sent to them individually as if it was just meant for them. Now, I don't think you should abuse that and make people weirdly feel that you are connecting one-on-one with them when you're sending it to everyone. And that's just not cool. But even acknowledging that you're sending a snap out to multiple people, it might be easier for those people to respond to this direct message rather than a Facebook post. So you have something you want to tell everyone. You just got a new mailbox at the church. Haha, look at this cool thing. Okay, something more important. You just decorated for Christmas. The sanctuary looks super cool. You want to tell everyone. Or if you're not at a church, you just decorated for the new season and you want to show people how cool it looks in your building. Take some snaps, take some videos, tell them that you are really excited about this. Ask them if they've done any decorating yet. So you could do this on your Facebook page. You can post a video on Instagram, and those are all good too. I would say do that. But if you are investing time and energy into Snapchat, which I hope is the case if you've made it this far in this video, then you might be able to take this video, you can take this video, post it not only to your story, but send it individually to people. Hey, I thought that you'd be interested in this. And maybe you only send it to the people that you thought would be interested. And you might get some replies. It might be easier for them to respond to that sort of thing, and they might be more likely to respond directly than interacting with your Facebook post, which is just put out there for anyone and everyone. It's not very intimate, it's not very individualized when it's on Facebook. It's good, but Snapchat kind of takes that to a more one-on-one level. Again, if you're gonna send individualized messages to multiple people, I think acknowledging it can't be a bad thing, like, hey, women's Bible study, hey, kids choir, I thought that you would enjoy this, and send that to them. Then they know that they were chosen specifically, but it's not just them. And maybe there are some times that it is just them. That's okay too, as long as that works for your safety guidelines with your community. Okay, there's something else about Snapchat you need to know. Snapchat has a huge focus on the present. One of the primary factors that separates Snapchat from other social media platforms is that Snapchat focuses on what is happening right now. There's no timeline of history to scroll, no future events coming up that you can subscribe to. It's all what happened in the past 24 hours or even the past few minutes. It's live practically. Snapchat is now. So make sure you recognize that mindset when if you're using this platform. You're not just trying to get people to come to future events or just highlighting old events. Snapchat is about today. What's happening today in your community? Now you can certainly reflect back on all of those today happenings in later gatherings, in person or online, or just conversations that you have with people. So maybe every day you kind of post updates or check in with people, give them a prompt to respond to if you want throughout the week of what's happening that day. And then later you go back and say, what did everybody think when they saw this? Or what were you feeling when I asked this question? It gives you something to reflect back on as a group. But really, when you're making those posts, you're focusing on the now. Another thing that happens when you invest in Snapchat is you show a prioritization of young people. As we discussed earlier in this video, statistics tell us that most people who use Snapchat are young people. Sometimes just showing up and being present on a platform is all you need to demonstrate that this is a priority to you. So being present on Snapchat, getting to know the features, and trying to learn how to use it in a healthy, effective way for communication and ministry shows people that you're prioritizing youth. Even if it's uncomfortable for you, even if it's new for you, you're willing to go there. And if you need an idea of how to invest a little bit monetarily, but really show prioritization of youth, a geo-filter can be a really cool way to do that. So what is a geo-filter? You've likely by now seen filters and stickers and GIFs on other apps that people use, social media, ways to connect, the dog ears, bunny nose, whatever it is. You can actually make your own filter for particular events. So you're having a big fundraiser, you're having a big community event, you're having a kickoff of some sort. You want people to gather, and usually in person because it's a geolocation filter. You want to connect them in some way. It's kind of like a digital photo booth. So you make this filter, you do have to pay for it for Snapchat. It's location based, so anyone at that event can use this filter if they're on Snapchat, take pictures with it, and then those photos are actually branded with this filter that you've created. Now this shows everyone who comes across the filter or photos branded with the filter that this event mattered enough to your community for you to invest money, time, and effort, even in a way you might not have been used to. Now, does this really have a practical purpose beyond giving attendees something fun to engage in? Not really. But if giving attendees something fun to engage with is on your to-do list for this event, and you want to connect the in real life experience to the digital experience, this is a wonderful way to do so, and all those photos are going to be forever branded with that event, showing that you prioritized Snapchat. Whether or not you knew what you were doing, you did that thing. And for those youth and young people that are on Snapchat and their parents who know how much time they spend on Snapchat, that might really mean something to them. Friendly final reminder, as you can see, Snapchat might have some value to your ministry, your efforts, your relationships. However, as with any social media app, you can sign up, you can start posting, but unless your people are spending time on this app, on this platform, it's not worth your time. But as long as they're there and spending time there, you now have some tools to interact with them where they are. Thanks for taking your next step to interact digitally. My name is Sammy here with Digivangelism. We post videos every single Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, helping progressive leaders of spiritual communities share hope, healing, and light online. Today we brought the knowledge, but now it's your turn to put it into action, and I wish you much peace as you do.